Okay, so today we're going deep on somebody who's been making some serious waves in the crypto world.
Waves is an understatement, right? I
Yeah,
mean, we're talking about Dr. Nicolas Kokkalis, the founder of Pi Network.
right. Pi Network, which, when you first hear about it, it's like, oh, another cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
But there's a lot more to this one than meets the eye, I think.
a lot more, yeah. I mean, his background, it's not your typical tech bro story.
Right.
This is a guy with some serious academic credentials and a pretty unique vision for the future of, well, of money, really.
Of money. Yeah, that's the good way to put it.
Yeah.
So I guess to really understand Pi, we kind of have to understand the man behind it, right?
Absolutely.
So let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Nicolas Kokkalis. He grew up in Greece.
Yep.
Developed a passion for computers pretty early on.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is something that really stood out to me. This wasn't just, like some kid messing around in his basement.
Right.
We're talking about a guy who went on to get his bachelor's in computer science for the University of Athens.
Yeah, and then he didn't stop there, did he?
No, he did not.
I mean, he heads to Stanford, one of the top universities in the world, gets his master's, and then his Ph.D. in computer science. I mean, talk about dedication.
Yeah, Stanford, that's the big leagues right there. I mean, it's clear that, this is a guy who really loves to learn.
Absolutely. But more than that, I think it shows a real commitment to, really mastering his field. And I think that kind of rigor, it really comes through in his work with Pi.
Totally. And it's not like he just, went straight from the ivory tower into crypto. He actually co-founded a healthcare software company first. I think it was called Kalinika, if I'm remembering correctly.
That's right, yeah.
And, I find that really interesting because it shows that even before Pi, he was interested in using technology to solve real-world problems. Not just building cool tech for the sake of it, but actually trying to make a positive impact.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that kind of purpose-driven approach, wanting to use technology for good, it's really at the heart of Pi Network, too.
Okay, so let's talk about Pi Network then. It launches in 2017, right?
That's right, 2017.
With this kind of ambitious mission to make cryptocurrency accessible to everyone. Now, for someone who's maybe not super familiar with crypto, like, why is that such a big deal?
Well, think about how most people get involved with cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
Usually it involves exchanges, which can be pretty complicated to navigate.
Yeah.
You often need expensive hardware for mining, and, honestly, it just requires a lot of technical know-how.
Yeah.
And mining, by the way, that's basically how new cryptocurrency is created and transactions are verified on the blockchain.
Right.
Bitcoin, for example, you've probably heard all the stories. It's become incredibly energy intensive to mine.
Oh, yeah.
And, it can be a real barrier to entry for a lot of people. And Kokkalis, he saw all of this and he thought, there's got to be a better way. He wanted to create a cryptocurrency that was truly accessible to anyone, even if you don't have a fancy computer or a ton of technical expertise. And that's really the whole idea behind Pi.
Okay, so that brings us to this whole idea of mobile mining, right?
Exactly.
Which, I gotta admit, the first time I heard about it, I was like, wait, you can mine cryptocurrency on your phone.
I know, it sounds kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. Like, can a smartphone really do what all those powerful mining rigs do?
Right, right. And that's where Kokkalis's deep understanding of computer science really comes into play. I mean, this guy, he's brilliant. He was able to design a mobile mining process that, it leverages the power of distributed systems.
Distributed systems, okay.
So basically, you have millions of smartphones all working together.
Uh-huh.
They contribute to the network, but they do it in a way that doesn't drain your battery or use up all your data. It's really clever how he designed it.
That's pretty amazing. So instead of needing all that, expensive energy-guzzling hardware, you can just mine Pi from your phone.
Exactly. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And people are definitely responding to it. I mean, Pi Network, it's got, what, like over 45 million users now?
Yeah, over 45 million users in over 175 countries, which is incredible when you think about it.
That's wild. But are they all actually using the currency? I mean, I know user count doesn't always equal actual participation.
Right. That's a great question. And it's something that everyone's kind of watching closely right now. I mean,
Yeah.
The real test is going to be, once the currency is fully launched, it's tradable on major exchanges. How active does that Pi Network ecosystem become?
Right.
But I mean, even with that uncertainty, those numbers, those user numbers, they show that there's clearly a huge demand for a more accessible form of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, for sure. And even the big players are taking notice, right? I mean,
Uh.
Binance Labs,
Oh,
which is pretty major investment firm in the crypto space.
Big time.
They put $10 million into Pi Network. So it seems like even, seasoned investors are seeing the potential in what Kokkalis is building.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that kind of investment from a firm like Binance Labs, it's a pretty clear signal that they see Pi Network as a serious contender in the crypto world.
Yeah, they don't just throw money around.
No, not at all.
So it's interesting because, with all this going on, with the Pi Network growing like crazy, Kokkalis is still really involved in the academic world. He's an adjunct professor at Stanford.
Still teaching. Yep.
Teaching computer systems and networks, no less.
Of course.
And he's also on the technical advisory board for TokenSoft, which is a blockchain consulting firm, right?
That's right, yeah.
I mean, this guy never stops. He's like constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible with technology.
It's pretty amazing. And I think that continued involvement, it really speaks volumes about his commitment, not just to Pi Network, but to the future of blockchain technology as a whole.
Totally. And speaking of shaping the future, didn't Forbes recognize him on their 30 under 30 list back in 2020?
They did, yeah, for his work in technology.
So, clearly his vision is resonating on a global scale. So I guess, as we kind of wrap things up here, what stands out to you as the most, remarkable thing about Nicolas Kokkalis?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's that really unique combination of, his deep technical expertise. He's obviously a brilliant computer scientist. But then you have this entrepreneurial spirit, the drive to actually build something new, to create something. And then on top of that, there's this really strong commitment to democratizing access to technology.
Right.
Making it available to everyone, not just a select few. It's not every day that you find someone who can really bridge the gap between those, those complex computer science concepts.
Yeah.
And a vision that could actually impact millions of people around the world.
It's a pretty inspiring story when you think about it.
It is. Yeah, it really is.
So here we have this brilliant computer scientist, successful entrepreneur, and, passionate advocate for inclusive technology all in one person.
Yeah.
It's makes you wonder what he's going to do next, honestly.
Right. It really leaves us with this kind of thought-provoking question.
Okay.
Could Pi Network, could this be the thing that finally unlocks the true potential of cryptocurrency? Could this be how it finally reaches the masses? Or, is it going to face all sorts of unforeseen challenges down the road? I mean, it's going to be really interesting to watch how this whole thing unfolds.
Absolutely. Well, I guess only time will tell.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, Nicolas Kokkalis, he's definitely someone to keep an eye on.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that's our deep dive on Nicolas Kokkalis and the Pi Network. Thanks for listening.